A lot of coaches talking and a lot of coaches liking where they are at the moment. Of course, who doesn't? Juice is in the news again. Boy, Lane Kiffin is milking that dog for all he's worth, isn't he? Here's Malik Heath is a wide receiver for Ole Miss, but he wasn't the star of the show. No, that would have been one Juice Kiffin. That was the star of the show, and here's what Lane had to say on rules and following the rules in Oxford, Mississippi.
Well, I was told on my walk up here that Juice just tweeted something during practice about Malik, so we've reprimanded Juice, as you'll see on Twitter walking up here. We don't give bulletin board material. So Malik struggled early, kind of was down on all fours, and, we don't do that here, and, you got to get up and keep going. So I think Juice kind of took a shot at him on Twitter about how he's been trained. So we had to teach Juice we don't give bulletin board material around here, and ain't like Juice has won a lot of games himself, so I'm not really sure why he's doing that. So Malik has had an adjustment period, but has really flashed and made some really special plays. Actually came back after that period and scored a touchdown, long touchdown on the last play, of the day. So got a very high ceiling, a lot of work to do still.
Juice has not won a lot of football games.
Who is Juice anyway?
Juice is Lane's dog.
Okay.
That's right. So I'm thinking back. This is not the first time I have brought up Juice. I need to bring up the audio from last week since you've been away. Let's see here. Where is Lane Kiffin? Lane Kiffin on Juice. This barrage happened last week. Lane Kiffin talking to the media.
I think a lot of things in my career maybe seem like they're planned, how they come out or in my life. And so this was not, but it looks like pretty brilliant, actually. That, the dog was a recruiting tool, and College Game Day's already been here for a special on him that'll air later on, and has his Twitter and Juice Fest and all this, but that was not. This was just my daughter wanting a dog, so which I really didn't want. So, but
what have you thought as you have watched the evolution of Juice?
I actually, as you asked that, things happen, you don't know why they happen in different things, and you probably wouldn't think Juice would make me look at coaching better, but, Wild Rose now, today's the third day, because I don't know how to train a dog, and I don't really do what they tell me to do, so Juice is not really well behaved right now. So Wild Rose came and got him. Today's day 3 for training camp, so he's on day 3 of training camp. They come get him in the morning, take him out. They give me a list of notes. Okay, this is what he does well. This is what we did today. They actually video the things. And actually this morning, meeting with them about it, I was like, there's so much similarities here to buying in and bringing people into culture, because he's going to, okay, hey, we're bringing him in, and all of a sudden he's around these other dogs, and how well they're trained has a lot to do with the training to him, and him not being distracted by all the other things. And I was like, you guys are going through the same thing we're going through. When you bring people in an organization, transfers in, getting them to buy in, and here's the puppy that he's taken over there with these other dogs that have been trained the whole time, and Juice ain't listening to what he's supposed to be doing. So I kind of feel like that's some of our transfers right now.
So when y'all from your home, maybe you warmed up with Juice, y'all felt it?
Yeah, I did not think that was going to happen. I think probably the typical kid gets the puppy, loves the puppy nonstop, and then all of a sudden you're taking care of it. Well, that's what happened this summer. And now that Juice isn't quite so cute, she doesn't want to take him anywhere anymore. So the dog actually sleeps with me now and kind of goes everywhere with me. So kind of typical story.
I wish I had a good Juice question. So, talked to Jonathan Mingo a couple of weeks ago.
He told me, by the way, too, for those that have teenage kids,
Yeah, he's not done.
the day he comes in, he's like, okay, we meet, like, the juice plan. And I'm like, here's my problem. Like, now all of a sudden, he's over there, and I say, Juice, come here, and he doesn't come. He just does his own deal. He just starts walking over there, and I'm like, at first, he used to follow me everywhere. And he's like, well, in dog years, he's a teenager. So think about your teenage kids when they don't listen. That's what Juice is right now at 5 months. So kind of came hand in hand with parenting there. I understand. Except you don't send your kids away usually.
I was gonna say, so which is easier, dog or parent or kids?
I don't know. The teenage daughter thing's probably as hard as it gets. So
I asked
There you go. It was Juice Fest.
Bad sign you're talking about the dog and not your team. Just saying.
I mean, a lot about the dog.
If you're not careful, Juice and Lane will be together at the beach next year this time.
So maybe potential neighbor could be Ed Ogeron.
Yeah, well, so when you said Juice and I'm like my cousin, I was thinking OJ, That's how old I am. So
Well, I could buy that. Yeah, I could understand that. Different juice. Different juice. Nick Saban also spoke yesterday morning. It was an early day, an early rising. I know this. If Nick Saban went to service yesterday, that was the sunrise service that he went to, because he spoke with the media at 10 a.m. yesterday morning. Here is what Coach Saban had to say out of the gate.
Well, we're obviously, very excited about the challenges of the season, but even more excited about, what you have to do to try to, develop a team that can play with consistency, guys that can go out there and give the kind of effort, play with the kind of mental toughness, ability to sustain, execute, do their job together as a unit, and have the kind of team chemistry that promotes the togetherness that you want on the team so that you can be successful. And then the next challenge is can you sustain that? We've had some really good speakers here the last couple nights, but if you sort of boil it down to what's the message, it's all about choices. Michael Phelps, spoke last night and talked about your actions speak louder than words. You have a short window to really accomplish things as an athlete, because it's not something that you can do your entire life, at least as football players. So make a commitment to doing things that you need to do on and off the field that's going to help you be successful. But that's also been the message from everybody else. It just comes down to choices and decisions. So the kind of choices and decisions the individuals on our team make is going to make the team what it is. We have some good pieces. It's kind of interesting to me that I see articles every day that you'll have decided already, what kind of team we're going to have, what the expectations are for the team. I think in some ways this creates a much more difficult challenge to have players, be hungry, try to prove what they can do together as a group. But it is a challenge that, we're willing to deal with, and hopefully we've got the right kind of leadership on our team to be able to overcome some of that so that we can avoid complacency and stay focused on doing the right things, deal with success if we have success, be able to deal with frustrations if we have failures. And I think how we manage all those things will determine what kind of team we really have. You asked me about injuries the other day. Obviously, Cam Latu is the guy that you asked me about. He has a minor knee injury. He's going to be out a couple weeks. I don't know exactly how long that is. Happened about 10 days ago. So these things usually go day to day. We had Hastings came in with an injury. We fixed. He'll be back shortly, probably. Elijah Pritchard tore his pec in the weight room a while back in the summer, so he'll be out for a little while, or a little. Had a shoulder injury coming in. It was bothering him, and So we decided to fix it, so he'll be out for a little while as well. But Aaron Anderson has a little knee injury, but he'll probably be back in a few weeks as well. So those are kind of all the guys on our team that have issues. 4 of them are freshmen. So we're just kind of trying to get better each and every day and challenge guys to be the best that they can be on a consistent.
That is Nick Saban, the best they can be. That's my apologies for clipping the tail end of Coach Saban speaking yesterday morning.
Well, I mean, so the rat poison, right? That's what he's talking about.
That's basically,
makes
in
his
a
job
nutshell,
harder.
yeah.
Yeah. So
No longer yummy.
no, and but that's, you got the target on your chest. So they were preseason number 1 last year too. In the rebuilding year. Now it's known as your rebuilding year. That's hilarious. Anyway,
Well, we all knew it.
yeah, I mean, lost a lot of players from the year before last year, and this year have a lot returning, but still some holes, and they got to fill them, and they got to get better. And the best place to get better is in camp. And then, during the season, every week you got to get a little better. You don't want to start at the top at the beginning and then burn out. And you see a lot of teams do that. The teams that look best at the beginning of the year, and all of a sudden they'll lose 2 or 3 at the end. And so it's going to be interesting to watch how this team develops. Who will be the leaders? Like you had Mathis last year step up on the defense. Mm-hmm. Who's that guy going to be this year? We'll see.
The coaches poll came out earlier today. The first major collegiate poll, and it is Alabama followed by Ohio State, then Georgia. But what is gaining the most attention is who received first place votes. Bama received the most first place votes, followed by Georgia. They received 6 first place votes. Then Texas, I just Freudianed it right there. 5 go to Ohio State, and 1 single vote for Hookham, the University of Texas. They received a vote for first place from the coaches poll.
Probably the same guy voted for Vanderbilt to win the Southeastern Conference.
Well, that would be different because that was a media member who is still at the moment nameless, and I have been championing this from the very get-go that I want you to own it. If you're in the media, just own it. Just own it. Just own it. Same deal on the college poll, to which I tweeted it out earlier, and Tom Abraham responded to me saying, let's see here. He responded and said, the coaches poll are terrible. Who possibly has the time? You see your opponents, and who your opponents are playing. Just awful. But 9 times out of 10, it's not the coaches filling out these polls.
Well, I tell you, the coaches always did better than the because they knew what they were watching and when they were watching, and they watched more football than they let on. I don't necessarily agree with Tom on that. I think the coaches do a better job than the AP. Maybe not the bowl series, but the AP, because they know what they're watching. And you think about it, you're getting ready for 13 teams, and you're watching every game they've played, a breakdown of that play, and you see the highlights of those games. That's a lot of teams you're covering. A lot of teams. And then they have people watch it for them, also. The coaches do.
Yep.
So I always thought the coaches' poll was – I always respected it more than AP. That's just me, though.
Pete Golding, as well as B.O.B., met with the media yesterday. Their only time that they meet with the media unless they are heading to the playoffs, which has been quite a bit over the last handful of years. Pete Golding was asked about recruiting and what kind of pitch you have as a recruiter, as the defensive coordinator at the University of Alabama. so many ways to sell your program. I wonder which way he's going to
You're
go.
known as a very effective recruiter. What is your approach in that living room and be able to convince a kid to come to Alabama?
Hey, I work for the greatest coach of all time at the University of Alabama. What the hell's wrong with you? No. So, obviously, I think recruiting has changed a little bit over the years. when I was Division II and 1AA, it was about, hey, who had the best relationship, who was willing to outwork everybody else, all right? Who's the guy that's going to help them make a decision, or female that's going to help them make the decision, right? And why can we do it better than anybody else? All right, well, it's still like that to some degree for some guys, but for most, let's be honest, it's not. Right? Does that make sense? So then at that point, now all they want to know is, hey, what is it in it for me? Right? So, hey, you get to learn under the leadership of the best coach to ever do it. Here's the strength and conditioning aspect of how we can make you better. So now to me, you're using more of, all right, what do I have, right, to enhance, obviously, their experience as a student athlete for them to get what they want, and that's the NFL. And in the process, how can you use the University of Alabama's brand, Nick Saban, to market your name, image, and likeness to allow you to make more money while you're enrolled as a student athlete? And I think the University of Alabama, more importantly, I think Nick Saban allows young people to be able to do that better here than anywhere else. And I think so if you got a good product and anything that you do, normally that's easier to sell. Now you still got to develop a relationship, you still got to identify it right and give them what they need, so that's a piece of it. But to me, I'm who I am, regardless who it is. And, they're either like that, they don't. It's my responsibility to provide the information for them. Hopefully we have better stuff than everybody else and they make the best decision for them. So I think it kind of does it for itself.
He sounds like Jimbo.
That was Pete Golding.
Yes.
A little bit of Jimbo in there.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like this as well. Sam Pittman was asked about the offensive line in particular and what he looks for out of his offensive line, specifically up in Fayetteville.
I believe that your power comes in your second step. As a offensive line coach, I always taught near leg, near shoulder. I played defense, and everybody's saying your power comes from near leg, near shoulder. Well, I taught offensive line play as your second step is your near leg, near shoulder. That's your contact. You're tackling the guy, just not physically tackling him to the ground. So Cody believes that as well because he was my GA, and it seemed to work in the past and things of that nature. What he does do, he sees things better than I did when I was a coach. He teaches it better because we've really hurt people that want to move against us. We've hurt people where a lot of times in my history that has been a problem for us.
You agree with that? The power comes in the second step along the offensive line?
Yeah, because the first step's should be a non-contact step. I mean, your first step, most of the time will be a non-contact. So yeah, but the faster you take your first step and get there, creates more power. So yeah, and then you shoot your hands, and it's all timing. Shoot your hands at the same time your foot gets on the ground, and yeah, that's where your power comes from. Your hips explode into it and drive. Yeah.
Well, we'll hear more from Sam Pittman.
Every once in a while, you throw the little shutter up into the chin, go high occasionally, just to let them know that you might do that.
There is also a quarterback competition in Starkville. If you don't believe me, just ask the Pirate. He'll tell you exactly what's going on. And by the way, I don't know if you heard, Wes, but the end of the baseball season was yesterday. The New York Mets won the World Series after beating the Braves 4-5. I mean, the way they were celebrating afterwards, I thought it was 1986. So congratulations to the Mets as they have won the World Series. And so we're all moving on to 2023.
They beat the dog out of one poor Brave guy.
Yeah, they sure did.
That guy's trying to fight 3 or 4 people. I don't recommend that.
It was very impressive. Putting the ball in play, good things happen. And not only that, but the arms that they have as well. But I think they're still playing baseball. I think. But nonetheless, the Mets with a very impressive weekend over the Atlanta Braves. It's an off day today as they move on up to Boston, and we'll have the coverage of, I guess, the regular season, if they're going to still play it. as the Braves take on the Dodgers. Go ahead, love child. What do you got for me?
It's really salty in here, it sounds like.
I am giving a tip of the cap to the Metropolitans with their 70th win.
Sounds like you're giving it to the Metropolitans.
It doesn't sound genuine.
No, it does not.
I do like Vogelbach at first. I mean, it's hard not to like a John Kruk, if you will, as, I mean, it's easy to root for Vogelbach. I got a body by Vogelbach. If you'd like to be a part of the program, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. It is, well, we've done this now for 9 years, and I would say at least 6 of the 9 years, the Monday after enshrinement, our own Hall of Famer joins us, and that's Big Walt. Walter Jones is going to join us in about 15 minutes' time, and we'll get his reaction to Hall of Fame weekend, bring back some comments from Dick Vermeil as well as a few others. Leroy Butler, his speech was fantastic as well up in Canton. But if you'd like to be a part of the program, you can certainly do so. Let's take our first time out, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Looking for ways to shine bright this summer? With Summer of Dash Pass by DoorDash, get more member-only perks and discounts than ever before. The more you shop, the more you save, with 0 delivery fees and access to exclusive items that make your summer feel easy and breezy. Sign up now with promo code RADIO22 for 50% off your first order up to $15 value. Dash Pass benefits apply only to eligible orders that meet the minimum order amount. Other fees, taxes, and gratuity may apply. Terms apply.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121. This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
We are roughly about 10 minutes away from hearing from Big Walt. Walter Jones, our resident Hall of Famer, as Hall of Fame weekend squarely in the rearview mirror. Nick Saban was, I mean, of all the players to ask about, 2 players in particular, Will Anderson and Bryce Young. How are they doing, Coach?
Will and Bryce are great. They do a good job every day in practice. They're very focused on what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. These guys are sort of driven individuals. That's why they've had the success that they've had to this point. But I haven't seen any indications at all that they're not continuing with that same drive to be the best that they can be. They continue to set good examples for other players on the team. They're not an issue. I think their leadership has been very, very helpful in helping other players actually continue to make good choices and decisions so they can be successful.
Right here with Chase.
Could you assess the competition at the corner spots?
Well, I think the good news is we have competition. I can't tell you that any guy on the depth chart has sort of separated himself in terms of who's the most consistent performers, who's going to give up the fewest plays, who's going to be the best tackler. But we do have really good competition at all those positions. Kyrie Jackson, Eli Ricks battle it. Kool-Aid and Terrion Arnold battle it. Jaquez Robinson has shown a lot of improvement to be a contributor at, some position. I think Brian Branch could actually play corner if we needed him to. We do practice him some there, so I can't give you any, it's a horse race, who's in the lead, who's in second, who's in third. That's why we have competition.
By the way, if Nick Saban could be a jockey play-by-play guy, that would be fantastic. I'm just saying, that would be fantastic. I mean, I've called a number of things in my day, but horse racing hasn't been one of them. That's one of the hardest things. It's just 2 minutes. You got to know all the horses, the furlongs. But it would still be a lot of fun to hear Nick Saban call it like a horse race. But no worries about if there's anything on Bama's mind in terms of fans out there. Bryce is okay. Will is okay. Just kind of.
Well, yeah, he's not worried about those guys. That's for
set
sure.
it and forget it.
Yeah. And competition is good. There's no question about that. Competition makes you better. And when you look at camp, I really was fighting a job for 1 year. There's several guys fighting for jobs every year, and I would get that. That would get taxing. But there's so much talent down there. I mean, you're just fighting for playing time.
And for some guys, it's a weekly thing.
Yeah, so a lot. Well, I mean, when you get injuries and you're getting better, you got to get better every week because there's a lot of talented guys down there. And when the light goes off for some of them, and they get in, that's it. You're not going to beat them out. They're special athletes.
Coach Saban was also asked about the running back room, and that was a room that got pretty thin last year.
Well, the plan works that the best players play. I mean, we don't have a plan to say, okay, this guy gets this many reps, this guy gets this many reps, this guy gets. If this guy's the best player, then we're going with the best player. Then the next best player is going to spell him, and he'll get playing time. If somebody else can contribute in terms of a winning performance, then whether it's on special teams or whether it's in a limited role that we create for them, we're certainly going to try to do that. But it's good to have depth at that position. This is a position where we had significant injuries last year. So, but just let the guys compete. But you compete, and the guy that comes out the best is the guy that has the most opportunities, and that's just how we've always assessed, the positions on our team.
That is Nick Saban from yesterday morning. One other story I wanted to bring up. Currently, right now, the Big Ten is in negotiations of their next television contract. And there was a story that came out, this from frontofficesports.com, that is entitled, NBC could make the Big Ten the NFL of college football conferences. Now, we all know about NBC's relationship with Notre Dame, but they are trying to turn their attention to bring in the Big Ten as well, inside the Peacock as well. And the conference is expected to command at least $1.25 billion annually for its next media rights for bidders that include NBC, Amazon, ESPN, ABC, and CBS Sports. Of course, the winner will have to share this alongside Fox, but what is interesting to me, Wes, about this proposed deal by NBC that has gone public with this deal, they are proposing not only games Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, but they're also proposing college football games Sunday night during the football season.
No.
They're going to go head-to-head with the NFL. They're just going to. There was an unwritten rule, right, that the NFL didn't play on Saturday, and I don't know if
that's what I thought.
I don't think you want to go to battle with them, personally.
So flat out, Lovechild says no to Sunday night football, college style, even though it would be on NBC.
Does anybody watch NBC anymore?
Notre Dame fans.
Yep.
But hence the NFL of college football conferences is their selling point to the Big Ten. Nothing finalized yet, but a proposal for Sunday. We get it the first weekend because the NFL's not playing, but they are proposing throughout the season.
Well, I don't think it's smart to go against the NFL, personally. That's just me.
It's a lot of money.
Well, money's going to rule. I'll tell you that.
Over $1 billion annually. Yeah. It just makes me wonder what kind of deal we will see in the next deal when the SEC contract is up. Of course, I want to say, is this the last year of CBS or is it next year? I want to say next year is the last year of the SEC on CBS deal, but I'll have to look that up. In fact, I can do that during the break because we need to take one right now. Walter Jones, our Hall of Famer, set to join us on the other side. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's been said that there are three things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and car commercials. But actually, there's a fourth certainty: the Woody Anderson Ford Rate Lock that allows you to lock in a finance rate when you factory order a 2023 F-150, Explorer, or Bronco Sport. No more rolling the dice on a future finance rate. Lock it in as low as 2.9% APR for up to 60 months at Woody Anderson Ford today. And while we're featuring 23 F-150, Explorer, and Bronco Sport, this rate lock offer also includes 2023 models of Ranger, Edge, Maverick Gas, and Transit Connect. With approved credit, offer ends 9/5. It's the Summer Supercharged Sales Event at Woody Anderson Ford. And with your trade being worth as much as 30% more than last year, it's a great time to make your move. Oh, and check our Ford Gold certified vehicles too. Low mileage, great warranty, and a full tank of gas and fresh oil change. Swing by today. The Summer Supercharged Sales Event, Woody Anderson Ford.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
That new doctor is drop dead gorgeous.
Please, he's just another RV League educated surgeon with good hair.
No, he's different.
Nurses, we got a Class C motorhome with a detached driver's side mirror. Meet me in the OR. Stat.
Right away, doctor.
No, she's on break. I'll handle this one.
Oh, you conniving little...
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures going to be topping out in the lower 90s for the afternoon, but heat index values will be back in the hundreds. For your Monday night, a few isolated showers and storms possible, otherwise mostly cloudy sky. Low temperatures falling into the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Touchdown, Alabama! No look pass inside, but he got to go to play.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Back here with you on a Monday, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. Hall of Fame weekend in the rearview mirror. So let's bring in our resident Hall of Famer. He is Big Walt, Walter Jones, kind enough to join us. What do you say, Big Walt?
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Did you attend Canton this past weekend?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to go get out there this year. I had to do some stuff with my family and stuff, so I couldn't get away from that stuff. So I didn't get a chance, but I got a chance to watch the enshrinement and stuff, so it's pretty cool. Every year you get a chance to do that stuff, and you get the chance to see guys come in. So for me personally, my job is just to welcome those guys in, and it's about time for them to get in and welcome them home.
From getting your ring to getting your jacket to the whole experience, walk us through a little bit of your experience a few years ago.
You know what? I think it's one of those things that you really can't describe. For me personally, I try to tell people all the time. I said, once you get in, a lot of times, a lot of people have talks about being a first ballot or whenever you get in. I think whenever you get in, I think it's well deserved. But I think the thing about it, just get through the speech part. I think now they have done a great job of that. But when I came out, it was all about the speech, just making sure that you get everybody that you want to say thank you to in the speech and stuff like that. But the thing about it is so chaotic. I think after you go, once you get in and get enshrined, and then you go back the next year, I think that's when you appreciate everything that's going on, because now you're walking around with all these great athletes, these Hall of Famers, and now you're a part of those Hall of Famers. And now these guys know you by name, guys that I watched growing up, and those guys will come up to me and tell me how I played and stuff like that. So that's much respect, and I tell people all the time that when you're at the Hall of Fame every year, your light gets to shine every year. So every year you get a chance to go back and let's see your light shine, see the appreciation from all the fans and the things that Ken was able to do for all the Hall of Famers. It's pretty awesome.
Tony Baselli, among the enshrinees, I imagine that you might enjoy seeing some other O-line get inducted more than others. Is that fair to say?
Hey, you know what? I tell people all the time, I said that's where the game is won at. And, for me personally, I tell people all the time, I said, well, I came in the game at a great time. That's not a shot at none of the guys that are playing the game now. But, when I came in the game, I had some great offensive linemen that I could watch and learn how to play the game and how to play the game at a very high level. So for Tony Baselli, he was definitely one of those guys that I definitely watched when I came into this league, that he did it the right way consistently. A lot of people talk about he didn't play a long time, but the way that he dominated that short time was nobody else was doing that. So I'm very happy for him. And anytime you can get a lineman in the Hall of Fame, it's well deserved.
So at what point did it's well chronicled of your attendance for fall practice, getting ready for a season, Big Walt. So at what point were you tell me, getting ready for a season, how early in the process did you get ready for a season back when you were playing?
I even like you say, it's well documented that I missed fall training camps and all that stuff. But I tell people all the time that, it helped me out. I think it put a couple extra years on my career because now I had to go through the wear and tear, in training camp. And I think that the thing that helped me out a lot when I was doing that was that they didn't change coaches. A lot of time with these teams, they change coaches every year. So I thought, like myself, if they change coaches, I got to go in because I got to learn a new offense. But, getting ready, I usually, once the season is over with, I usually take probably 2 to 3 months off. And then now you kind of slowly get back into it. You started just trying to get your body back into that trend of moving and stuff like that. And still, again, I tell people all the time, I said, training camp is good, but for me, I think it's another level of getting that football shape. You can go out here and run sprints all day, but you don't run sprints in a game. So I think it takes some time for you to get in shape for the game, but still, again, as you become a professional, you learn ways to how to prepare yourself to get yourself ready for the season.
All those touchdowns they score in practice don't count either, do they, Walt?
Oh, they definitely don't count, But you let the defensive guys, they think that, they get mad about that stuff, But, I tell, like here, when I talk to young kids now, I tell them, I said, practice is supposed to be hard. I said, the game is to show that you're having a great practice, that you practice well. So enjoy these moments, enjoy the game. So I tell people all the time, I said, you go through practice, but then when you come on Sunday or come on Friday or Saturday, that's when you show if you had a great week of practice. So I try to tell those kids that, the young kids that, is that you get better at practice.
Walt, is there one pancake that stands out more than most? It doesn't have to be in the NFL, but you tell me.
For me personally, I think it's the one that everybody talks about. You tell people to go to the YouTube and say, and and print out Walter Jones' NFL block. I think the one in the NFC Championship game got the guy to get to drive the guy for like 15 yards and then dump him on the head. I think any offensive lineman wants that, you know. And I try to tell, like I said, I try to tell the young kids, I said every level pancake changes, you know what I'm saying? I said in high school you have multiple pancakes, and then you get to college and now you might get a couple pancakes, but then at the pro level everybody's good. So I think it's all about leverage and get you a block. But anytime you get a chance to do that in a game, you know, those are things you hold dear to your heart, because I think that's the only place where you can get away with doing a man like that. So anytime you get a chance to do that, you take advantage of it.
Are you saying you should have been arrested for what you did?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if it would have happened in any other setting, you know what I'm saying, it probably would have been on the news or something, you know what I'm saying? So I tell kids all the time, I say no matter if you're frustrated about something, I say on the football field where you can take it out on people and you can get away with it, you know, as long as you're doing it the right way. So I tell kids that all the time, you know, that's the only place where you can go and put your frustration on the other opponent and have fun doing it.
I've heard a couple of football players since retired say that they miss the physicality because you don't get charged for that kind of physicality. Have you at all missed that part?
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk to those guys that missed the physical part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think, you know, I would, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would do it the exact same way. But still, again, you know, you talk to guys and you wake up in the morning, your body still aches, and you have moments of, you know, sometimes your body just don't even want to function. So for me personally, I think I missed the part of just being around the players. And, you know what I'm saying, once you're done with this game, everybody got their own life and doing their own thing. So for me personally, I try to get people to understand that part of the game that you know, once you leave the game, it can be tough on you. But, you know, I have enjoyed it. It's blessed me and changed my life forever. But, no, I don't miss the physical part of the football game.
Tell me about your Seahawks and what is a very competitive NFC West. What's going on with your Seahawks?
You know what? I think it's just a change of guard right now. You know, they traded Russell Wilson, so that was the face of the Seahawks. And then right now I think it's back to where Pete wants it, where now, you know, I think what Pete does a great job of is that he can bring young guys up or guys that are frustrated or thought they should have got drafted higher. I think that's where Pete shines his most at, when he got those types of guys. So I think right now that's what they're going through now, you know, change of guard, and now kind of trying to bring that competitive spirit back and stuff like that with the younger guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this season is going to be like. You know, I kind of like the quarterback, and I think with all quarterbacks you need to be in the action. So I think any reps that he get or any game time, I think it's going to be great for him. And I think I like the draft picks in the offensive line, what they did this year. So I think they're trying to fix that part of it. And I think that's where you have to start at. I don't know what this season's going to be like, but I think they're on a great trajectory of changing things around and still be there in the hunt.
And starting out in what is a notable game on Monday night, taking on the Denver Broncos and the aforementioned Russell Wilson. That ought to be interesting.
It should be interesting. You know, you know, you talk to your friends and stuff, but the only thing I hate about it, I think the game was scheduled too early. I said that game would never mean anything, you know, once you get down through the season, because, you know, that first game, you know, guys are trying to get ready to play. So I think they're just doing that to just get that game out of the way. I said that game would have been even hyper if it would have been more of a week 8 game where now Russell is playing good, or now he's coming to Seattle and now the pressure is on. I don't think there's going to be any pressure on Russell in that first game, because it's going to be the first game for everybody. So, but I'm looking forward to it and seeing how the fans. I think the fans gonna cheer him on until the whistle blow, and then now he's gonna really get a chance to see what this crowd is all about and why people have so much problem playing in that stadium.
There are certain sayings covering this business that you tend to hear, and you don't know if it's true or not. Rubbin's racing, I guess they're in NASCAR, and if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Well, certainly the Dolphins got caught with their hand in the cookie jar trying to grab themselves a coach and a player. What was your take of that particular headline that came out the last couple of weeks?
It's tough, man. I think it's just part of the game. You know, you get caught. You know, I think a lot of time we get in trouble by just because we all on social media and people can get information so fast. So once you get that information, you're putting it out there, and then all of a sudden now, you know, I think a lot of us know what tampering is, and you think about like, man, why would they say that about Tom Thomas? They got contract. So as a player, you hear that stuff, especially when, you know, when he retired and he came back to the Tampa Bay, then all this stuff came out. So for me personally, I think it's just one of those things that just, when you get caught, you get caught. You have to deal with the fine. And these guys make these leagues and these organizations make so much money. So, you know, you got to stay on the right path and do it right. But, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, once you start putting your business out there, you know, in the social world, too many people sees it. So now you have a problem. So I think that's what was just crazy. You know, I know you can't talk to a player if a player is still on another team. So from that standpoint, you know that they were doing something wrong.
Is there any team, I realize you stayed with the Seahawks, but was there one team that you heard from more than any other through your agent that wanted you?
When I was getting ready to come out for the draft, I tell people all the time, you know, when they label you as being one of the top guys, and then now you go on these little visits, and you know, I went to the St. Louis Rams. The St. Louis Rams told me flat out, they said, "Hey, if Orlando Pace won in the draft, we'll draft you." So, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, that's cool. I said, that's only one team, so I still got a chance. So I never looked at it like that. And I said, when I went out to Oakland, I would say Oakland laid out the red carpet for me, and I honestly thought that's where I was going. I was like, I'm going to Oakland. They did everything. They had every coach in the office. Everybody was greeting me, so I thought that's where I was going. And then when I left there, my agent told me to go out to Seattle. He said I need to take a detour and go to Seattle. I went out to Seattle, met the O-line coach. Wasn't nobody there. The lights was off. So I said to myself, I'm not going there because they didn't do anything to get me. But then, you know, those are the things you have to look at. Sometimes you get caught up in all the big and shiny stuff, and then this dull situation over here, this is the one that's going to get you. So I never did think I was going to Seattle because I felt like, you know, they didn't put the energy in. But in the end, I guess it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? In the end, you look at all that stuff, and it really doesn't matter. But then when I was going through my training camp stuff, my contract stuff, and I know that I didn't get an opportunity to test the market. But, you know, I was telling my agent, I said at that time I had just had my house in Huntsville. So I only had two teams in mind. It was Atlanta or the Tennessee Titans, because I was thinking to myself, how cool would it be in the middle of my career that I'm able to go home and drive to the game and do all that stuff. So I was thinking about stuff like that. But, you know, I thought Seahawks would say, no, we're not going to let you go. So, you know, I'm blessed that I was able to play my entire career with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that commute would have been awfully long from Huntsville to Seattle.
That's so true.
On a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, from what you're hearing about the Seahawks, and particularly, I think this is year 13 for Pete Carroll. It's amazing his longevity that he has had up in Seattle. How much longer do you think we're going to see Coach Carroll?
You know, I think he's gonna do it as long as he can. You know, there's no other enjoyment that you can find. You know, you think about a lot of these coaches when they get. You know, I think the thing about Pete Carroll that he does so well that he adjusts to the players. You know, you see a lot of older coaches that they this is their way of the highway, and you see the ones that older coaches that adjust to the younger kids. Those are the ones that have success. So I'm thinking right now with Pete Carroll, you know, he's still having fun. He still have a purpose to come to work. You know, until then, you know, from just watching him and seeing him, I just don't see him stopping anytime soon. So I think, you know, coming to work every day for him is something that gives him energy. You know, you always talk, like I talk to my mom, I talk to older people. The one thing that they hate is that quiet time or when you feel like you don't have anything to do. So anytime you get consistently keep doing something that you love, you know, like they say, if you're doing something you love, it's never worked. So I think with him, I think he loves what he does. I think he loves going out to practice. So I can easily see him coaching for another 5 years.
You know, Walt, you look at Russell Wilson and him leaving. Were you surprised that happened? Because I certainly was. I thought that him and Coach Carroll were made for each other.
I thought that too. I thought, the thing about that, I just, sometimes it's hard to find a franchise quarterback. So I just think to myself that there's no way that they would get rid of. But, hey, like they say, with a good deal, anybody can get traded. You know what I'm saying? So you have to always keep that in mind. And then I always try to tell people all the time that no matter how you love a player, I would say love the team because players come and go. And so, I would have, like you said, it was shocking to me. The only reason why it was shocking to me, and like I tell people all the time, I said when I knew that something was going down is when Pete Carroll said, I think it was the week of the combine. He was I think I saw it on ESPN. I was just literally walking through the house and the TV was on. And he was just like, hey, we don't have no intention of trading Russell Wilson. After that, and I said to myself, I think I told my son, I said, man, he's gone. He said, what you mean? I said, that was the line I heard. When I heard that line, I knew then. I said, because if he said that then, that tells me the deal is already in process. So, I try to tell people to listen to little words or little sayings. And when he said that, and then the next week, Russell got traded to the Denver Broncos. And I said to myself then, but I didn't say anything because, you don't want to put that out there for the media or nothing like that. But now I can say it now. I said, when he said that, I told my son he's gone. So, it's shocking, but still, again, like I say, any player is tradable if the deal is right. So, and I think the Seahawks at that point where they felt like, it was time for a change. They Bobby and all that stuff. So now it's a time for a change of guard, and I think the Seahawks did it at the right time. Kind of like how the Patriots does. Trade a player right before he thinks it is time for him to be traded. So I think it's a great move for the Seahawks. Because I tell people all the time it's a business, and you have to understand that, and you got to look at the long-term effect of this, and we'll see what happens. If he can turn it around quick, or is it going to be a slow process?
And so they also lost Carson, I guess the running back that was so good.
Yeah,
Chris Carson.
They lost Chris Carson. They lost the linebacker. So right now everybody's in there now. Is that these guys that I think there's nobody there left from that Super Bowl winning team now. So it's all a rebuild and kind of seeing can you motivate these kids and get these kids ready to play on Sunday.
So it is a rebuild. So that was going to be my next thing. So it's most definitely a rebuild. Who are going to be the leaders of this team?
You got to find the young guys, man. The guys like DK Metcalf, guys that's been there that know how to be a professional already. Still a young kid. You got Tyler Lockett. You got Quandre Diggs. You got some guys that have played in this game that can get these guys motivated. So, the coach can do only so much. You got to have those guys that have been in the trenches, guys that have played this game to get those guys ready because he can speak it. But now you got to hope that those guys that's on the field can relay it to the other players and they can do the same thing. So I'm looking forward to it. I think for me personally, I think when you got a young team like that that's trying to find their way, I think you want to see the tough times. So once it changes, once the guard change or things happen in there in a positive way, you're going to remember the bad times, and that's why you see a lot of guys when they change it over, they start crying because they've been through the bad and the good times.
Walt, thank you so much for the time. Finally, we started off about the Hall of Fame. Where is that Hall of Fame ring right now?
It's on my nightstand because I'm here in Alabama right now. So I've been doing some stuff around here with the local football teams and stuff. So I've been around here, just been talking to these kids, trying to get these guys motivated. And I'm hosting somebody. One of these schools, if I talk to them and then they win a state, they might send me a ring too, though. So I'm looking forward to that.
Keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking. Thank you,
know what I'm saying? But I think it's cool to be able to get out and talk to the local football teams around Huntsville area. So it's been pretty cool.
Thank you, Big Walt. Always a pleasure to talk with you, sir.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, guys.
That is the one and only Hall of Famer.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Looking for ways to shine bright this summer? With Summer of Dash Pass by DoorDash, get more member-only perks and discounts than ever before. The more you shop, the more you save, with 0 delivery fees and access to exclusive items that make your summer feel easy and breezy. Sign up now with promo code RADIO22 for 50% off your first order up to $15 value. Dash Pass benefits apply only to eligible orders that meet the minimum order amount. Other fees, taxes, and gratuity may apply. Terms apply.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins with a little breaking news into ESPN Radio SportsCenter. Phoenix Mercury star Diana Taurasi will miss the rest of the regular season with a quad injury. 3-time NBA champ averaging 16.5 points and about 4 assists a game. Phoenix is fighting for a playoff spot, one of 6 teams fighting for the last 3 remaining spots. And the Mercury say it will readdress Taurazi's situation for the postseason if it gets there. Taurazi suffered the injury on August 2nd against Connecticut. Another week of training camp in the NFL, another week of the Niners with Jimmy Garoppolo on the trading block. Doesn't seem to be a lot of teams interested in the veteran, but ESPN NFL reporter Nick Wagoner says Cleveland might resurface as a trade partner with the Niners.
6 games was a suspension that was a little shorter than I think maybe the Niners and Garoppolo's camp were expecting there, and it kind of was in that fringe range of, is this something where the Browns would have interest because he's not in a long enough suspension to make something worthwhile that way. But if it gets extended, you start looking at something closer to 10 games, 12 games, even longer than that. I think that would become a conversation. Other than that, there's not a lot of obvious landing spots in terms of a potential trade.
That's Nick Wagoner earlier on Bart and Hahn here on ESPN Radio. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow picked up a ball, started tossing it. It's been 2 weeks since he's had his appendectomy. After practice, Bengals coach Zach Taylor reiterated he still doesn't have a timetable for Burrow's return. Coming up next here on ESPN Radio, it's Spain and Fitz.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
If you start Baker Mayfield and it doesn't go the way you want it to, and you go to Sam Darnold, you're probably going to lose your entire team.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here with you on a Monday. Always fun to hear from the Hall of Famer, Walter Jones. Nice to know he's right here in our own backyard, talking with some teams as they get ready for the high school season upon us. Phone lines open to you here on this second hour on a Monday. Don't forget, tomorrow we are on the road at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. And then coming up on Thursday as well, also on the road over at Baumhauer's Victory Grill as well. So come on out and see us, as football indeed right around the corner. In fact, the high school season starts on the 19th, and we'll also have our coverage of the high school scoreboard show, the North Alabama Friday night high school football scoreboard show. Long title, but it's just right for Scott Tyson, as he will anchor it again for us here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. In fact, you need to download our app as well. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device. We have multiple streams available for you, and because we're going to have multiple streams out there for you to take in different ball games. So looking forward to this high school football season, which is right around the corner. And incidentally, in case you're scoring at home, the first Nick Saban show is the 18th, which is a week from Monday. Your first Alabama football replay show comes up on Monday, September the 5th, as indeed the season is right around the corner. And speaking of Nick Saban and Alabama, quite a bit was said by Coach Saban yesterday, including the transfer room.
I think that we've always, and I think our players have always done a good job of this, we've had so many new guys come into the program. Even back in the years, how many freshmen have we had contribute to the success of our team? I mean, we won a national championship in 2017. There were six freshmen on the field when we won the game in overtime. All three receivers. Leatherwood was playing left tackle. Najee Harris was playing tailback. Tua was playing quarterback. So we've always promoted for our current players to embrace new players. And I think our players want to win, and our players understand that when we bring players in, and they help them in the transition, that it actually enhances our chances of being successful. And I think our players have done a really, really good job of that. So everybody wants to play. Competition, I think, is a good thing in terms of helping everybody get better, because it makes everybody better. Not only the guys you're competing against, but the guy at your position, but also what kind of guys do they have that you go against every day. That helps guys develop tremendously. So our players have a pretty good respect for that, and they've always sort of embraced, guys coming in to the program. So, and the guys that we brought in so far, they've done a really good job of buying into the principles and values of the organization. So it was easy for all of us to respect and trust them in terms of how they can contribute and what they could do.
That is Coach Nick Saban from yesterday morning. A few other notes. Jaheim Otis is someone who has come in and, using the words of Chuck Oliver, has come into the system and has lost a fourth grader. He is down nearly over 60 pounds in the system already.
I am pleased with several of our guys. We've almost eliminated a lot of weight issues, which come from a scientific approach, not me looking at a guy and saying he needs to lose 10 pounds, but a muscle mass, body fat correlation that helps a guy be most efficient. And I'm pleased with the way a lot of our big guys have sort of got that into balance. I think Miss Amy does a really good job of, helping guys. Again, it goes back to the kind of choices and decisions you make about, what you eat, when you eat it, how much you eat of certain things that can create the kind of increase of muscle mass, decrease of body fat that makes you a more efficient player. When I say efficient, I'm not talking about your ability to do something once. I'm talking about your ability to sustain it, for 40, 50 plays in a game at the same high level. So those guys have done a good job. I think it's contributing to them being better football players. And I'm pretty pleased with the overall team improvements that we made from that standpoint, as well as explosive movements and speed. I think, Dave Blue and his group have done a really good job of motivating the players to work hard in some of those areas, which hopefully will be helpful on the field.
So another feature that does happen throughout the year, but we hear about more now than at other times, is speakers coming in. The latest being Michael Phelps coming to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, but they've been doing that a long time
Yeah.
for Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
for a long time.
That's
because what they're doing is they're trying to entertain the player because he's in camp. They can't practice like they used to, so they have to fill time. So they fill this time in educating their players and entertaining them with speakers. So that's what's turned into.
Anybody come speak to you at Alabama?
I remember. All we did was practice.
It was different back then.
It was we practiced
2-a-days, 3 days, 4-a-days.
Well, they had 3-a-days, and one of them. So the 3-a-day was, they'd go out there for a walkthrough most of the time, and it was more kicking game than anything. So I really didn't do anything in the first practice, what we always talked about. The guys that did, I don't know how they did it. Because a walk-to wasn't really – there was not much walking going on in the walkthrough. And I wasn't on any special teams, so I didn't have to worry about it at Alabama anyway. So, but on the other two practices now were not for the faint of heart.
There were just a handful of times on the high school level I can remember being done with the practice, and especially in the preseason for basketball, where a coach wouldn't like our head coach was Jack Waters, and if you weren't hustling on your suicides, then you were practicing right after suicides, But it wasn't. It was as a collective group.
Yeah, that's what most people always want. They want you to touch the line, and if you and if you're not, then it's what they call a free one. We just do gassers till, which is a suicide is a gasser really. On a football field, you go to it's 52.5 yards, I think, or 53 yards.
Side to side.
Side to side. So that you go there and back, that's one, and there and back, that's a gasser. So it's really a 200.
Do you know what was the crown? Was that?
You're not worried about the crown at that time because you get to go downhill.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You get a little reprieve, at least
it's all about stride and how to stride them. And it's even if you can't go fast, you can look like you're trying to go fast. So, but
you can't now with the catapult system.
Oh yeah, but I mean at that time they're not worried about the catapult for the most part. It's all about how you look and how you're doing it. Don't bend over, Don't at Alabama they don't want you to put your hands on your hips. You definitely don't ever bend over. So. You got to finish strong, and it was more of a most of the time we had 4, at least 4, and boy they better be good, or they were free. Then you had more, so and it's bad when they call out your name too. But I was always in the front of the offensive line. I'd been in the back of the linebackers now because remember I went as a linebacker, even though I played both ways in high school. But I was with the linebackers. I went in first, went in close to first. Those guys could. There were some that could fly, but the offensive linemen, man, there were some that they make you look good.
I would imagine Condon wasn't one of those.
Well, I could. Condon was a strider. He wasn't going to be. No.
Really?
No, he could beat me in a race, but in that kind of thing, I wasn't coming in second. I mean, he might have beat me some, but not a lot. I mean, he was going to be right behind me. He wasn't going to run faster than he had to. I guarantee you that. Because you got to make him. You can't. We had a time, and it was and you got to touch the line. That's the main thing. If you didn't touch the line, if somebody didn't touch the line,
that's a problem.
Yeah. They were free, yeah.
Coach Saban talking about the speakers coming in.
It's all about messaging. You've heard me say this many times before. We're trying to help our players be more successful in life in terms of sort of the psychological disposition, the mindset that they can create for themselves in terms of the habits that they create that's going to contribute to them being successful in whatever they choose to do. And realizing what they do on the field and off the field are things that I think a lot of lessons can be learned from those things that can carry over in their life. So when we do evaluations of who's going to speak to the team, we actually do evaluate what is their message. All these people have a message they've spoken somewhere before, and if we think that's something that can impact our players and create interest in them making sort of the choices and decisions and changes they need to make to help them be more successful, that's how we determine who we'd like to visit with them. Sometimes it's sort of character development. Sometimes it's also behavioral issues, which all come down to choices and decisions as well that can sidetrack your chances of being successful, in the future, because that's also very, very important. So understand the consequences of good and bad behavior, cause and effect. All those things are taken into consideration when we try to make an impact and influence on what will help these guys make better choices and decisions to have a better chance to be successful.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything in life is about choices and making the right choice. And, a lot of people make the wrong choices and want to blame everybody else for lack of success in their lives. And really, it's all about making right choices.
Did you read this story last week about Aaron Rodgers trying to better himself? opening up about his journey to self-love.
I think he's done that really good the whole time. No, and everybody makes mistakes. Everybody.
Yes.
But there are people that go through their lives continually making the same mistake over and over and over again. It's hard for me personally to feel sorry for people that have all the different people trying to help them and they never help themselves.
Here is the Zen quarterback that is your MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
I really feel like that set me on my course to be able to go back in to my job and have a different perspective on things, and then to be way more free at work, as a leader, as a teammate, as a friend, as a lover. And I really feel like that experience paved the way for me to have the best season of my career.
I mean, he's like some kind of character in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Does that not seem like that to you? I mean, you know, like the Zen quarterback, right?
Yeah. He's like...
I understand he has a lot of trouble with relationships, right? With his parents, with his brother, with all the different girls he's gone out with.
But
on another hand, a lot of things he does, I like. You know,
if this works for him,
exactly.
Then this works for him.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked for him.
My intention the first night going in was I want to feel what pure love feels like. And I really did. I had a magical experience with the sensation of feeling 100 different hands on my body, imparting a blessing of love and forgiveness for myself and gratitude for this life from what seemed to be my ancestors.
Okay. Roll Tide.
I mean, if you really break down this particular quote,
man, what's he on? He's on something.
My intention the first night going in was I want to feel what pure love feels like. And I really did. I had a magical experience with the sensation of feeling 100 different hands on my body, imparting a blessing of love and forgiveness for myself and gratitude for this life from what seemed to be my ancestors.
If it works for you, then it works for you.
Man.
So it is a low. I cannot even pronounce some of these words to save my life. It is a tea that has been used for thousands of years for traditional healing purposes in Central and South Africa. The Packers quarterback joined Aubrey Marcus, the founder of the supplement company, to discuss his mental health journey for him. And this happened again before last year when there was heavy speculation that it was his last year at Green Bay. Now he's fully paid and fully vested as a Green Bay Packer for the rest of his career, and he will credit a T.
I really feel like that set me on my course to be able to go back in to my job and have a different perspective on things, and then to be way more free at work, as a leader, as a teammate, as a friend, as a lover. And I really feel like that experience paved the way for me to have the best season of my career.
If you just edit out the lover part, I just... But again, to each his own.
Think he's advertising?
Well, yeah. I'll stay up late tonight to see if there's any infomercials at 2 a.m. Hi, I'm Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right.
This tea changed my life.
Has this ever happened to you?
Oh, my My goodness.
I would certainly, if there's one person I'd love to get their honest opinion on, Brett Favre, honestly. To which he would probably say, you know what, whatever.
Well, I think they ought to have the Chicago Bear guys and Brett Favre talk about it. The Chicago Bear fans, the two Chicago Bear fans.
The two Chicago Bear fans.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
Who you talking?
The one was used to be on Cheers.
Oh! You're talking about the Bears. You're talking
the Bears,
about Norm.
Norm. The Bears. Yeah, the Bears and Brett Favre did a long time ago.
George Wendt is still kicking.
Yeah, that would be good for them to comment on this. We ought to have him on. You need to track him down.
How old is George Wendt?
I don't know.
He's up there. He's got to be up there. I did notice our coach up in Canton, as he was pointed out, he was on camera for a good bit. Coach John Robinson was on camera a good bit over the weekend on ESPN as well as the NFL Network as well. And Coach scheduled to be on with us sometime this week. So we will hear from Coach John Robinson later on this week. Not sure about whether or not we can get Aaron Rodgers to talk about his tea, but nonetheless, it has to be working for him.
It sounds like it's working a little too good.
Working really well. The quarterback room was a subject at Mississippi State, and we all think, the kind of year that Will Rodgers had last year, it's his job, right, Coach?
It's difficult to say. We got to watch it on film. Some of the physical things Sawyer can do are impressive, and then, we got to see how it all links together, to be kind of a day-to-day thing.
Obviously. Yeah, he's talking about Sawyer and Sawyer Robertson, who is right now the backup quarterback, at least on the depth chart.
I thought his pass skill was only so-so. I thought his team, he did a good job in team, and curiously he plays team better than skill. Usually it's the other way around, but he had a good team period today, I thought.
That is Coach Leach talking about Sawyer Robertson, and there is no doubt what kind of accuracy Will Rodgers brings to the table. But one other player that stood out to Coach Leach was on the defensive side of the football, Jordan Davis, who has lost some weight as well there in Starkville.
He's good. He's explosive. He's got, long limbs, and he's a tough guy to stop. He's always had really good effort out there and still does, and a guy that's been through a lot of adversity, and so he's used to battling against things, and you can tell.
He wasn't all that wordy, so he really didn't get revved up talking with the media over the weekend. Still waiting for that moment that we always get from Mike Leach.
Well, I think when you're in camp and he's talking about, these two quarterbacks having he can tell in the seriousness in his voice that he thinks it really is the job's up for grabs, no doubt.
There is another job up for grabs, and that is in Oxford, Mississippi. A lot of people believing that the transfer in from USC is the guy. Hold on, though, says Lane Kiffin.
I hate to ask, but we haven't talked to him. Yeah. Okay. And Kincaid Dent as well, if you could throw him in there.
Yeah, so, all the guys are getting a lot of plays. We run two fields, as you guys know, so both fields are really important, especially in the fall, because you got better numbers, so you got some good players down there on the other field to throw to and to look at. So, I know it just sounds company line, but all three have done some good things and have done some bad things. Thought we were more accurate today. We've not been accurate middle of the deep throws, and that was the emphasis of the day, and they responded with that instead of overthrowing these long foul balls.
If you cannot throw the deep ball, especially down the middle, you cannot win in the league.
Can't play for Lane's system.
No, you can't play for any system. And you're not going to win. You have no chance to win a championship. And I've seen this at LSU. They've come in and played very well against Alabama, get beat by 3 touchdowns. And it's because they couldn't hit the middle deep ball. Their quarterback, they didn't have a quarterback that could. And if you don't have a prayer.
Emil Ekiyor spoke with the media and had something to say about the participation trophy that Alabama received during their time in Indianapolis. And where exactly is that participation trophy? If you have not read about that, we'll have that for you on the other side. Plus, we'll also hear a little bit more from Sam Pittman, who met with the media as the Hogs prep under Coach Pittman, year 3, I believe, for Coach Pittman. I'll double-check that as well. Let's take our first time out here in hour number 2. We'll be right back.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family-owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Back here with you on the drive. If you'd like to participate, we'd like to hear from you at 256-576-4977. That is the telephone number, 256-576-4977. So we've heard quite a bit about Nick Saban calling last year a rebuilding year. I mean, I've been calling it a rebuilding year last year just because every time I was hearing Coach Saban speak about how young that team was, it immediately made me think rebuild. And it was, because 2020 was such a high bar of how just dominant that football team was. And to go through an all Southeastern Conference football schedule with COVID and everything around it was just impressive. And what the closest games that year were the SEC championship game against Florida, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Even the championship game
was a smackdown.
It was. We were both there down in Miami, and it was already just a third filled because of COVID, and all the Ohio State fans, they were gone by middle of the third quarter. Just gone. So that is not the case for this past January when Alabama received their participation trophy for the national championship game. Emil Ekiyor was asked about putting last season in the rearview mirror, or are they?
I mean, it's kind of hard to turn the page, you know. Obviously, it was a tough loss. We worked all year to achieve that goal, and I feel like we really still, I mean, in a way, we still haven't turned the page because it's always in the back of our mind. I mean, in our cafeteria, we got the participation trophy from the championship just sitting there, just like, it's like you participation trophy, like you made it, but you didn't do anything, you didn't win. So, I mean, I wouldn't say we fully turned the page. Like, there's always going to be something that externally motivates us, but yeah, that's all I got to say.
So it's in the cafeteria, and I'm sure there's a couple of spotlights on it as well.
Wow. Right.
Congratulations. You made the national championship game. Here's your trophy.
Well, if you look at the game, they have
it was a heck of a game.
Yeah, well, there's several times they could have really make plays to put it out of reach, really, in the first half, and didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I bet you can go watch the film. You know, if you're watching them, you're watching the film of little things that everybody on every play could have done a little better to make a huge difference. And you go watch that and make you kind of sick at your stomach.
Well, Coach Saban even referenced it yesterday morning of the amount of freshmen that were playing in the first Georgia-Alabama national championship game, the one that took place at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and how many freshmen played vital roles from the offensive line and Alex Leatherwood to a guy who happened to catch the game-winning touchdown in Smitty and Devontae Smith, of guys that were ready to play even though they were freshmen.
Well, yeah, and then last year, not the case. Not the case. I mentioned we'd hear from Sam Pittman as the Hogs continue to prep and get ready. Their opener, incidentally, a home game against Cincinnati, as Luke Fickell's bunch coming off of record-setting year in which they made the playoffs, a group of 5 team.
I thought, y'all ready? I thought today was a good practice. It was obviously hot. Had more cramping issues than what I was hoping we would, but it was hot. I thought the kids fought through practice well, and to start off, I thought we threw and caught the ball really well today for the first day, and not a lot of errors, not a lot of balls on the ground. Snaps from center to quarterback seemed to be good. The MAs were limited with the veterans. Obviously, you're going to get some of that with the younger guys, but all in all, I thought they fought through the weather well. I had a great attitude all day, and I was happy with the first practice.
One guy in particular, in fact, there's a couple that are getting to know some different positions. Trey Knox is at the tight end position.
He's got to get in better shape. I'm sure he's not used to carrying 245 pounds, even though he had a good summer in the strength and conditioning program. You know how it's like anything. You guys remember whenever you transition from you athletes, it looks like we've got a room full of them. When you transitioned from football and then went to basketball, you were in shape for football, not necessarily for basketball. It's just kind of the same way when you're in your strength program. As much as you simulate position drills and all those stuff, you know they're not wearing pads, they're not wearing spiders, they're not wearing a helmet. So I think Trey just got to get used to that a little bit, and I think he'll be fine. He's a good he ran some really good routes today, did a nice job blocking. Hudson Henry couldn't make it through practice today, so I think it's just conditioning or whatever. I don't know exactly the reason yet. I haven't spoke with Dave yet on that, but other than that, I thought Tyrus Washington had a good day, and Nathan Bax is you can count on him, and that's kind of where we're at in the depth chart. With it being Knox, Henry, Bax, and then Washington.
Which Jaden Wilson had a really good catch when we came in out there today. It's a touchdown about 70 yards. So how's his summer? Well, it's one practice, but how did his summer? Has he progressed pretty well this summer like you wanted?
He has. I told him nobody knows who he is. You do. Oh, thank you. But I said, nobody knows who you are, bro. And if you want somebody to know who you are, you got to do what he did at practice today. And we've challenged him big time because athletically and length and those things, he's got all that, but he has to be more consistent. I think he had a good day today, as well as some other wideouts.
That is a little bit of Sam Pittman.
And that's the whole, the wideouts. And so you could tell he's challenged that guy because he must be a player, and he thinks he can be a great player, or he wouldn't be challenging him like that.
Well, there's one other guy who can potentially add some depth, and that is the backup quarterback in Malik Hornsby.
He's obviously improved his accuracy, but he used to throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from me to Biddy. I mean, it just knocked the guy down as an uncatchable type of pass. He's really improved his touch, I think. But more than anything, I think he's improved his confidence. He's not thinking about where guys are going to be, and he's throwing the ball faster than what he did before. But his accuracy has really, really improved. I don't know. He probably got 15 to 20 is what the goal was for today of him playing wide receiver snaps. We know we're straining him because he got every snap of second-team quarterback. However, we can always pull back on him, once we feel, how much we're going to play him out there. He going to play somewhere. So those numbers at wide receiver will probably increase. They didn't need to today because it's the first day, but they'll probably increase.
That is Sam Pittman, 256-576-4977. That is the telephone number. Philip has called in. How are you, Philip?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. How y'all doing this afternoon?
Doing well.
Okay. I heard from one of my buddies today. He's an Alabama fan. He was telling me, y'all know anything about what's happened with Eli Gold?
A little bit. Eli is not going to start the season as the voice of the Tide. He is trying to recover from a medical issue that he is still kind of working through. This is not a new issue, but nonetheless, he is not starting the season behind the microphone.
Okay, I wonder how many games he'll be out for.
If you were to ask Eli, he would prefer 0, but I'm hoping he is on the road to recovery. I don't have an update, but as soon as I do have one, I'll pass it along.
Well, I know they're planning, they being the broadcast network, and him not coming back this year. But they hope he does.
Well, it wouldn't be the same listening to Alabama football on the radio without Eli calling, the games.
No question.
But,
yeah.
He's the voice of Alabama on the radio. Ain't nobody does it better.
He has been there for a long time, since 88, I believe.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, I appreciate that's the only question I wanted to ask y'all about.
Okay. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah.
Appreciate the phone call. Let's go ahead and take our final time out. Final call for phone calls, and we'll wrap things up on the other side.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Do you know that your car or truck or SUV may be worth up to 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and now is the perfect time to trade in and trade up to a gold certified or blue certified pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or crossover. While our new vehicle inventory continues to build back, our Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicles are nearing 100 models to choose from and a good variety too. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles are 6 years or younger with less than 80,000 miles and have passed 172-point inspection by factory certified technicians. They have a 14-day, 1,000-mile money-back guarantee, a great comprehensive limited warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and go home with full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Get nearly a new ride and none of the worries. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. This Friday, you can get $50 worth of Bad Daddy goodness for just $25 with our zone deals. Log on 977ESPN.com to get your zone deal before they're gone.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find him online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures going to be topping out in the lower 90s for the afternoon, but heat index values will be back in the hundreds. For your Monday night, a few isolated showers and storms possible, otherwise mostly cloudy sky. Low temperatures falling into the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
As the Atlanta Braves battle for another postseason run.
Throw comes in, and it got him! Oh, my goodness, what a throw!
It's also the start of football season. We've got you covered right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl.
Back here with you, winding things down on a Monday. Final call for phone calls, 256-576-4977. Wes, do you like chicken sandwiches?
Of course.
Let me tell you, I went over to Bad Daddy's Burger Bar today. I know it says Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. I realize it says that. That chicken sandwich, fantastic. Just fantastic. If you would like to partake, there's only 9 left. $50 worth of Bad Daddy's goodness for only $25. Head on over to the website. I've done it. I'm thinking about getting $50 more worth. So go ahead, make me regret it. Head on over to our website, 977ESPN.com.
So you're giving everybody else first dibs.
I am. Well, I bought my own and enjoyed it today with a side of chips as well. They've got homemade chips, tater tots if you like tater tots, banana pudding, which from what I understand was devoured greatly over at Cross Point Church last Friday. In the outing over there. Appreciate the Padre hosting us on Friday for the Major League Eating event.
How was that? I missed it.
It was good. There was a lot of interactive activities, and the athletes were getting ready in the sanctuary as we were leaving. But they were stretching out. They were warming up. They were getting ready. I think the winner ended up going 15 pounds of banana pudding. And it was like the thick banana pudding. Yeah, well, with the wafers. Yeah, 15 pounds. I think took home the trophy or the belt. I think it's a belt that they award. All right, so as we close down here on a Monday, we have some sad news to pass along to you, our listeners out there. And we just found out about it during the program, and I wanted to give it a full segment and really pay this man the respect that he so richly deserves. Rat Cephus passed away on Friday. And we are never going to forget the contributions made by Rat Cephus. There are certain, I'll say, characters that once you have a radio show for a while, that just take on a life of their own. And there is no doubt that Rat Cephus is a character that I'm still going to be asked about. I'm sure Wes will be asked about. Of I still get people asking me about Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
So there are certainly thoughts and prayers to his family.
Definitely go out to his family,
but
the New Hope community, because
that's right.
They lost a guy who was a lot of fun, and had been calling our show for the entire time we've been on. Yeah.
Forever.
Yes.
Met Rat Cephus. There was a time before this program in which a certain morning show set Rat Cephus up on a date. And let's just say the date was paid for. Okay?
Well, I mean, that's a little, it wasn't paid for. Not like that.
I may have seen some money exchange hands, but nonetheless, Rat Cephus was a no-show and did not go on said date.
He was smart.
Correct. Wise beyond his years. But his stories chronicled of which jailhouse facility was accommodating a little bit more than others will live on forever here on this particular program. And we are going to miss you, Rat Cephus, more than anything. I mean, I literally put Rat Cephus on our open, and I did it just to get a chuckle out of Wes. And he said,
when he said it that time, we all said it was going to be on we need to put it.
Yeah. And then you said, let's just leave it on until
it makes us every time it comes on.
Every time.
It makes me smile. I laugh. Some of the conversations we would have would make my day. I mean, he's just, and of course, his 6 o'clock calls were a lot more interesting than some of his 5 o'clock calls.
Boy, when the 5 o'clocks would act like the 6 o'clock.
No. But usually
there is a breezeway up in the sky. I have no doubt about that.
Yes.
So we are all going to miss Rat Cephus, who passed away on Friday. And there is, I see some folks making a tribute wall for Rat Cephus. And I know he had already talked about the passing of his father. I believe his mother is still with us, and certainly thoughts and prayers to her in particular. In fact, there were several times he called in on the wrong phone and got in trouble with said mom for using the wrong phone.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, one of the phones he was calling in was being charged by the minute. Yeah, by the minute. So he was, But his mom is still alive, and he survived by his mom and a bunch of his siblings. And we were reading the obituary earlier, and there's going to be a celebration later, the way I understood it.
One tribute wall reads, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to read, I'll never forget the jail stories. He was a sweetheart and as kind of person as I've ever met. And I only met Rat Cephus once, but there are certain people that just stick out with you even if you only met him once. But he is going to be sorely missed here on this particular radio program. And so send a thought and a prayer to Rat Cephas's family for those of you listening. 256-576-4977. That is the telephone number. In case you missed it earlier, Nick Saban spoke to the media yesterday. In fact, couple of areas that we have yet to get to with Coach Saban, talking about the wide receiver room down in Tuscaloosa. Of course, that is highlighted by a certain transfer from Athens, Georgia.
I think Jermaine Burton is the guy that has played with the most consistency out of the receiver group. Of course, he was here in the spring, so he's a little ahead of the other guys. Tyler has been sort of in and out a little bit to this point. He has been able to practice on a daily basis, but not 100%. I do think that he has shown that he has a lot of ability. We just need to get it channeled in the right direction so that we can use him in a way that's going to be most productive for him and for us. The freshmen, I think they've all showed some promise. Which ones are going to be able to sustain? That's always the most difficult thing for the younger guys on the team. They've never been through a college season. They've never been through a fall camp, probably as demanding as what a college fall camp is. So we'll see who can sort of sustain and continue to grow and develop. And I think there are some guys there that could make a contribution depth-wise as well.
That is Nick Saban on the wide receiver room. One other transfer, well-noted transfer, is on the defensive side of the football, and that is Eli Ricks.
He's made a lot of improvement. I think that, Eli sort of, with the injuries that he had and the time that he was off, it was really a more difficult transition for him physically, emotionally, mentally, to come from where he was to where he needs to get to be the kind of player that he wants to be. And we certainly want to help him do that in every way we can. And I think sometimes when you go through all those things, it can affect your confidence a little bit because you get frustrated and struggle because you're not used to being in the kind of condition that you once were, because no fault of his, but he had some difficult circumstances to overcome with the injuries and so forth. But he is making very, very good progress, physically and on the field, in terms of grasping the system and having a better understanding of what's required of him to be a good player.
A lot made about both coordinators coming back in Tuscaloosa, but not a lot about not 3, but 4 new coaches in Tuscaloosa.
We actually have 4 new coaches, but I had to think about that for a minute. Well, first of all, I think continuity is important. I think it's important for players, in relationships that they have, respect and trust that they develop in the people who are trying to help them be successful. Coaching is teaching. Teaching is ability to inspire learning. So to have that respect and trust, I think, is beneficial for all players. We've had a lot of changes here in leadership positions. We've made pretty good transitions in that regard. But I think to have the continuity on the staff enables you in the off-season to do a better job from a quality control standpoint of evaluating what did we do last year, how could we make it better. And I think that's really, really one of the most important things that we can help ourselves systematically with. So player relationships, systematic implementation of the system, how we could do it better from a year ago, all those things I think contribute in a positive way. All the new coaches that we have, Wolf is really a good offensive line coach. I think he's developed really good relationships with the players. I like the progress that we made in the offensive line. Coach Cox is probably one of the brightest young guys that we've seen for a while, so we're glad to have him on the staff. T-Rob has got a really good relationship with the players. They relate to him really well. He's done a good job of learning the system. Having Charles Kelly there in the secondary, too, has been beneficial. And I think Coleman has done a really, really good job with special teams. His energy and enthusiasm and getting the players to buy in to play special teams is one of the most important things that you do. Plus, I think we've improved ourselves systematically. So I think all the additions on the staff have been a real plus for us.
That is Coach Nick Saban from yesterday morning. Don't forget, we are on the road tomorrow at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Come on by. We'd love to see you. Coming up next, going to re-rack the final hour of Paul Feinbaum and then hand things over to ESPN Radio. Talk to you tomorrow.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
What's going on, Fabo?
Kneeling's up on Rocky Top. The Razorbacks are hard to stop. War Eagles soaring in the wind.
Let me talk, Tammy.
Okay, go. Tigers rocking in Missoula.